Good afternoon, everybody. Today is November 17th, 55 years to the day since Jack and Carol McWilliams were murdered. I had originally planned to go to the cemetery today. It's very cold and nasty out, below zero, and I could not verify that Donald Kelly is buried in the Bonfield Cemetery where I was going to go. And the more I thought about it, we already know Donald Kelly didn't do this, right? Well, in my mind, he didn't do it. Anyone that we've talked to or that talks about that case from that day, they say he was a lot of things, but he was not a psychopathic killer, somebody that could just put a gun up to somebody's head and pull the trigger, and that's what happened. These were very close range killings. And I have a new theory that I want to work on, that I want to talk to you guys about, because we've had conflicting reports. When we first started this case, everyone said that they knew the talk around town when you went down the back alleys and you talked to people, off the record, was that Ian Rose was the one who killed Carol. And as I investigated this case for more than a year, things did come out that kind of pointed to this betrayal that Ian felt for her, that he had actually gotten her pregnant years earlier when she was 14, and they had had a baby that I didn't even know about until after I investigated this case for a year. They gave her up for adoption. Carol had actually betrayed this group that she worked with on these heists where they were stealing things, and she was turning tricks. Somebody was abusing Carol, right? She was known to police. She had been tied up, beaten. Eventually, the box says that this became an opportunity for the police to use her to give information on the other people, and they were betrayed. And the box tells us that she stole from them information and things and gave it to the police. So what I want to do today is I want to look at the possibility that Ian Rose did in fact murder Carol and Jack on the bridge that night, but Black was the one pulling the strings. Black was the lead detective on this case. Black was, according to the box, also the killer of Carol and Jack. It has said numerous times that Black did this. I don't think that he could readily just go and kill these two kids, right? I think there was some manipulation here. Was he at the scene that night? He could have been there. He's the one who received a mysterious call from an unknown caller that told where the bodies were. They just happened to go out and find the bodies 27 kilometers out of town, down a back road. They found them right away, guys. It's almost like they knew where they were. There's so many strange things with this case, right? There was stuff stolen from Donald Kelly's defense trial. That would be an inside job. Black found the only bullet from a .38 caliber gun in the apartment where the kids had partied. In my mind, conceivable that he planted that single bullet that was found. It doesn't make any sense. Donald Kelly left this party, killed them, came back, didn't change his clothes, didn't have any blood on him, nothing like that. There's so many things wrong with this. I don't understand how this has not been made into a movie, if not a miniseries at this point. It should have been. It should be. We're going to investigate. We're going to ask the box today about this relationship. Was Black holding things over Ian, being a police officer, getting him out of trouble with maybe cases that he had pending? These guys were known to police. They beat up other kids, stole, burglarized different places. These kids were part of a crime spree in 1969 where hundreds of houses were broken into, businesses. The hardware store had guns stolen. The bank was robbed. The possibility that Black and Ian were both in on this murder, working together. I don't know which one pulled the trigger. The box has said both were guilty. The box has said more times than not that Black was the one who murdered them, but she went with, shot me, behind you, Ian, hit him, stay focused, screw the pills, doze, I'm not real, there's a cop, medic, help, fight, tip, yeah, drink, couldn't stay up, did murder, good job, he'll come, spare kid, gun, telephone, bush, scare, frame. These are some of the last words that came through our last session that we did. I've written down all of just the words that came through, and we did a series called In Their Words, and it's pages and pages of what came through the spirit box. And those were the last words. Spare kid. Did Black have him show up? They committed this murder and then he decided, well, this would be the perfect fall guy. If I kill this kid, they're going to be looking for someone else. That makes sense. If the kid is still alive, we've got somebody we can pin this on, right? These kids probably weren't smart enough to think ahead and figure all this out. They wouldn't know anything about legal proceedings, the system, how it worked. Black would know all of that. And he would also know that if he killed Ian, they would still be looking for a murderer. Let's ask the Spirit Box about this new theory of Black and Ian working together. I want to start by talking to Ian. Ian, were you on the bridge the night that Jack and Carol were murdered? My God, we're just starting and the first thing the box says is my name. Tell me this isn't strange or that it's not real. Guys, I'm telling you. And then Carol says, I know it's Carol, says, don't give up. I don't understand this part that, look, he's ahead of them. To me, that means something about the setup that I believe there was maybe more than one vehicle that showed up that night. There had to be multiple people. We know Jack was a big guy. One person could not have brought Carol and Jack to the scene and then got out and proceeded to kill Jack. And it seems to be a known fact through the investigation they did on the bridge, looking at the scuff marks and all this stuff, that Jack was killed first. Carol tried to make a run for it, and they drug her back, shot her on the bridge, and then dumped both bodies off. This is what happened. They're confirming it. A woman says they shot him dead, right? So this is Carol saying, I saw them shoot Jack, he died, and then she got hers after that. Cop owned us. This is presented to you guys in the order that it is recorded. Nothing is altered. It's like I'm sitting down having a conversation with them, but I can't hear it when I'm recording it. They've already said everything that we wanted to talk about. They've summed it up here in the first 2 minutes. Okay, I recorded another 40 minutes, which we're going to go through, but they've already said the cops owned us. It said Ian's name. It said Black's name, followed by bullet, which we discussed in the opening. I think Black planted that bullet. Here they are talking about it, and I'm getting full shivers. This is real. Ian, he's here. Who pulled the trigger and killed Jack and Carol? That's the feeling that I get intuitively, guys, that Ian may have been there, he may have been part of this, but he didn't pull the trigger. It was Black. The box has told us that many times. Ian, were you the one who lifted the bodies over the railing and dumped them? That's the feeling I get. Were you ordered to bring Jack and Carol to a meeting place and maybe you didn't know they were going to be shot? I almost feel that that's what happened, guys, is I couldn't piece this together before, but maybe these guys lured Jack and Carol out to that place. They possibly didn't know that they were going to be murdered, but maybe they were ordered to bring them out there. There was drugs and other dealings that were going on at this time. They could have been told to bring them to that bridge for a meeting with Black, and maybe they knew that there was going to be trouble, but didn't know that they were going to be killed. But then Black had enough over the rest of these kids, basically the threat of sending them to jail for all the things they'd done. Is that what happened? Please confirm. Am I close? Jack, I want to talk to you. You're quiet. You don't talk to me like the rest of them do. And there's a full shiver down the back of my neck. Jack, who put you in that car that night, took you from your apartment, and brought you to the bridge? Talk to me, Jack. Carol, are you here as well? This box has said Ian's name like 5 times. Okay, there's a full shiver. So Ian, obviously you want to talk to me or have something to say. Am I wrong? Ian, did you kill Jack and Carol? I think Black was innocent in all of this. I think you guys lied to me. Black was just a detective doing his job. I then basically tried to provoke Ian by saying, I think you lied to me and Black is innocent. And his response right away, he's lying. Who was Buzz? You guys have said Buzz's name many times. Tell me who Buzz was. I cannot find anything on Buzz, but this name has come through in relation to the apartment being broken in after the fact when it was supposed to be under police protection. We asked about that and the name Buzz came through. Intuitively, I have a feeling this was a cop. Is Buzz a nickname and not a real name? That could be. I only have a partial list of officers from 1969. There is no Buzz, but intuitively, I know this Buzz character they're talking about was working with Black, was a friend of Black's, and was a cop. And the spirit box just confirmed that it said he's a cop. All right, Carol. I feel that you and I have grown close over this investigation. I want you to come through and just tell me one thing and one thing only. Who shot you? I heard a woman sobbing. I heard my name. I heard rape. I heard he shot. The box has talked about this before, guys. And I think it's finally just dawned on me the reality of what this story is. The true happening of why they were killed. Up until this point, up until this very second, right now, Gary editing this video, I had in my mind that Carol was an informant for Detective Black, but also having a relationship consensually with Detective Black. But the box has talked before about rape. And there was a whole section on that. We covered it. And in this session as well, before we got to this point, guys, I cut out another section where it detailed choking and rape. And I want to get into that stuff, but I think it has dawned on me. Intuitively, I understand now. I know what we're talking about when we say that Carol filled out the form, 94, whatever. Guys, she was complaining that he raped her. This was never a consensual relationship. She actually told them, and I'm getting a full shiver down the back of my neck, she reported him for this. Obviously, he denied it. And then when full shivers, when she realized she was pregnant and he found out she was pregnant, that could prove that he did what she said he did. This is all just coming to me now. How stupid could I have been? That is what happened. But she never had a consensual relationship with Black. And they've been trying to tell me this all along. This is why they keep talking about it. The two words I clearly heard there were black and rape. Are any of you coming back to relive this life to do a better job? Now that is strange. I ask if any of them are coming back, basically going to reincarnate to redo this Earth life and do a better job. It says yes. I wasn't going to put this in there, but I hear my daughter's name. Clear as can be. It says Kaylee. In some grand cosmic scheme of things, could Carol have come back as my daughter? And now I'm finding about this. It's crazy. It's too fucking weird to even think about. But it said Kaylee's name, so I'm putting it in there. Will getting my private investigator license help me get further in this case? Okay, so this is it. This is my final request to you guys. I'm wrapping this up. I've done all I can for you guys without getting some kind of physical evidence. Carol, you talk about a diary. You guys keep telling me about a bullet. I don't know where to get that stuff. I don't know what I would do with that stuff if I found it. The diary is something that's different because it could have incriminating writing in there. Do you want to tell me one more time, where is this diary? Are there any court files or documents somewhere that you know about that I don't? Read the note. What note? Where's the note? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is Black Buzz? Was his nickname Buzz? They said Buzz is a cop. They keep tying Buzz into this case, but I couldn't figure out who it is. Then they said Buzz killed Carol. Did they just tell me something so important that I've been missing? I've been thinking of him as another person? But all along it's been Black? I want you to prove to the people just tuning in, Jack, Carol, you guys need to tell me, what was your last meal the night you were abducted? Just so people out there know this is real. What was it? I didn't hear it when I asked that question, but yeah, they answered it. The answer was noodles, spaghetti noodles, or, as they just said, pasta. Okay, so that's it for Necrophonic, guys. You can't tell me that the box saying Ian 5 or 6 times, Black 5 or 6 times. I heard Carol. I heard many things that were pertinent there. You can't tell me that they're not coming through. There's a full back shiver. We're going to switch to Hack Shack. I just want a couple of things said on Hack Shack that are pertinent to that case, just to remind everybody, including myself, that I'm not crazy, that this is real. We're going to shut it down. I'm going to let it cycle through 2 more times. All these frequencies. Alright, getting ready to shut it down. Ooh, I just had a feeling to not shut that off. Turned it back on and immediately got a response. And full shivers. Arms back, neck, right down my legs. No idea what it said. It was a male voice. Yeah, I want you to talk. I want you to tell me something pertinent about this case. Are you kidding me? This just said the name that we talked about while the other app was running. And I believe 100%, guys, intuitively, we have solved who Buzz was. Now, you won't have caught it because you don't do this every day like I do, but there's another word in there where it says O's. They actually talk over each other. There's two voices. It says Buzz did O, and there's a name or there's something in the background. If you listen to that again, I can't make out what it is, but it's like they're telling us who he owed. And we know that Blackie Plagisi, Carol's father, was a mob guy. He ran a gambling house or was part of that whole scene. There's more to this story, not just the pregnancy. There's more to why those two kids were whacked. My cheeks, even my cheeks feel like I'm getting shivers. Like, it's so strong, guys. Big, big goosebumps. Who's here? Thank you for coming in. Oh, there's waves and waves of shivers right now. Still going down my back. 8 minutes without a response, and then like 3 or 4 within a minute. Right after I intuitively knew to turn it back on, after I said I was done. You guys know, when I say I'm done, usually that's it, I'm done. But I got the message from them, we're not done. So let's give you 1 more minute here to say what you gotta say. I feel like they're receding. It's receding. The energy is less. The shivers have stopped. Somebody's still here. There was more than one person here. I could feel more than one presence, and now I feel one. I'm gonna come through and say one more thing. I can feel it. Go ahead. Give us the last message, and then I'm going to shut it off. Necrophonic said Buzz was a bully. Now we switch to Hackshack. Hackshack says Buzz's name again and says recently being bullied. Intuitively, 100%, I feel we have now solved who Buzz was. It was Detective Black. That was his nickname. Somebody called him that. Was it the mafia side of this case or was it the police side of this case? But I am positive Detective Black was Buzz. So we are furthering this case. And even more importantly, I feel that we have resolved, and there's a shiver of confirmation, what Report 97 is. We know that Carol went in and filed a report, and it said in that video that it did, what she says is true. It's like they didn't believe her. Well, we now know what she said. So I need to find out, is Report 97 a generic name for a sexual misconduct or a sexual investigation back in 1969? Were all of those cases Report 97s? Or was this just specifically Report 97 in regards to that incident? If all rape reports were Report 97s, then we're on to something, because the box is then again telling me something I didn't know that we can physically prove and say, that's what a Report 97 was. I'm telling you guys right now, I know what that report was about, what she said. Will we ever find it? God, that would be a smoking gun to prove that Black raped Carol, Carol was pregnant, Carol ended up dead. That is motive for murder. How Jack gets tied into this? Well, there's the whole mafia and the other side. There's more going on here than just that. But that was a good enough reason in itself for Detective Black to have these two kids whacked. Now prove it, Mr. Reed. Somehow, prove it.